All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. We got some good news to talk about today, and of course, I'm joined with the lovely Miss Only. And like I said yesterday, we were doing another live stream today, and then doing a special Valentine's Day one in I think about 2 weeks. I should know when Valentine's Day is. Yeah, just play me in the background.
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Okay. How are you doing, Miss Only? I feel like I haven't seen you in a good 24 hours.
You feel like you haven't seen me in 24 hours? Why?
That's the last time we did a stream together.
Oh, no, it's been less than that, right? The late show last night was at 10 o'clock. That's when we started it. So if you were special enough to be a part of that stream, that was a good time. Go back and watch it.
The late show with StarWarsOnly.
Yes, the late show. The only late show I would watch.
Yeah, I don't think there's many that I truly enjoy. So yeah, what's going on, everybody? There is some news for Star Wars this blessed day. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna go to this other tab over here and see if I can find the specific article. Lucasfilm hires, because there was a new position. I guess this is coming from Inside the Magic. Wow. Yeah, I don't. Is there any like actual videos on this from like YouTubers? I don't feel like there's a lot of people talking about this, but I will make a video about this. All right. So let me see if I can screen share this to this other article. Lanky Giant says, I'm back again. I apologize for missing yesterday and Tuesday's stream, but I was tired and had online school the next day, but this time work so I can stay up. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you're in. Focus on school, though. Focus on school. And yeah, Joshua, you are right. Inside the Magic. Wait. Is it Inside the Magic or is Disney Insider? There's one of them that is like pretty much guaranteed a fake news one. Let me look up Star Wars sequels reboot because one of them covered that and acted like it was real. Inside the Magic is the one that sucks. I think the Disney Insider, Inside the Magic is the one. I don't remember the guy's specific name, but I think it's like Skylar or something. But yeah, Han, I'm going to stop screen sharing on B-roll real quick. Let me pause that. StreamYard.
We're real high production value around here.
It'd be great when I have a like a producer behind the scenes to do a lot of this stuff for me. All right, there we go. Okay, so here we are. This is the news for today. Lucasfilm has named. Oh, God help me with this name. Miss Only, can you say this for me?
Let me see.
Momita
Sengupta.
Sengupta.
I would guess. I'm probably butchering her name.
Yeah, I'm worse setting.
I would guess Momita Sengupta is correct.
Okay, well, it says she previously served as executive president of production at Viacom and vice president of production at Netflix, where she was helming the original series in both the United States and United Kingdom. No, it's Deadline who reported this, so.
Yeah. Oh, somebody in the comments, Mr. Beans. No, Kathleen Kennedy is not gone. This woman answers directly to her. So it's just someone hired underneath her. She's not replacing Kathleen Kennedy.
She's like the second in command. Oh, and it's exclusive by Deadline. That adds a lot of validity to it for me. EVP of production at Viacom and then Netflix. And she will be EVP of physical production at Lucasfilm, which of course means all the live action stuff we're going to see. Sengupta, hope I'm getting that name right. I'm probably not. Will reportedly direct to Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy and lead all aspects of production, including physical production, post-production, visual effects, and production finance. So, as they say right here, she's not in charge, but she is. I mean, as close to being in charge as you could be next to Kathleen Kennedy. So she's going to be working on stuff like the future of The Mandalorian, the Cassian Andor series, The Bad Batch, the movie Willow that they're coming out with. I don't know if it's a movie or a series. I actually can't remember because I don't keep up with that. Rogue Squadron, The Book of Boba Fett, and of course, it says several others. I'm imagining it's mostly any of the Star Wars content we're getting from here on out. I'm not going to say I'm surprised she's going to be on Rogue Squadron, but that does semi-surprise me because there's another Lucasfilm vice president of production called Michelle Rejuan, who also is like second in command to Kathleen Kennedy. So looks like you women are running Lucasfilm nowadays. You got
We sure are.
yeah,
Go us.
you got her
Yeah.
who is EVP, Executive Vice President of Physical Production. You have Michelle Rejwan, who is Vice President of Live Action Development, and then you have Kathleen Kennedy, who's just Lucasfilm President.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, it's been working because everybody loves everything that Kathleen Kennedy has come out with. So
you're goddamn right.
yeah,
Don't
there's
nobody.
literally been no one dislikes anything that she's been attached to.
Well, I mean, to be fair, before anyone pulls the whole like, oh, females shouldn't be running Star Wars or they're doing this for SJW stuff, I want you to realize that Lucasfilm president before Kathleen Kennedy was a lady named Micheline Chow. So, homegirl was serving from 2000 to like 2011 before Kathleen became co-chairman.
I mean,
so.
I don't know if it said it in this article, but one of the ones we were looking at earlier was talking about her portfolio and the experience she has, and it's pretty good. I mean, regardless of her being a woman, I mean, it seems like she has a lot of experience.
It's kind of different from. Is this still being shared? No, it's not. Or I probably just need to share this whole tab. And we're gonna look at her IMBD real quick. Application window. There we go. I can just share the screen right here, and then we'll be good. Boom. Yeah. So let's look at her production, just because this lady has been involved with a lot, I know, but basically producing stuff. This is all MTV. I thought it said Netflix, though.
Yeah, there was a lot. Maybe I don't see it on here.
Maybe I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah, maybe.
But also, if she's an executive, she's likely not the not going to be mentioned in a lot of stuff.
Here we go. Wait, go up. No, just kidding. That's under similar news. It's not the same thing. Okay. Well, I don't know what you were looking at before that had a list of things that she'd been working on recently, but they were, I don't know. They were all things that I recognized and that were generally pretty good.
Yeah. Here we go.
Just sorry, I'm looking at the comments kind of while you're scrolling through this. Victor Noriga.
Just say Victor.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, sorry. He asked if she was just hired, and this is recent. Yes, this is in the news.
This came out like a day or two ago.
Yeah, so
very, very new. Sorry.
Breaking. It's breaking news.
Breaking news. Even though no one in the fandom has really talked about this, which kind of surprises me because when Michelle Rejwan was hired, everybody kind of freaked out about it. So this is another lady who is now in charge of Lucasfilm and running things. A new scapegoat, everybody.
I always love your comments. You know, I had to ooh it to them.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call you ooh from now on.
Ooh.
Yeah. I always love the comments for ooh. A new scapegoat. Yeah. New person to blame things on. And then, when eventually Jon Favreau takes over, then you see
everything's gonna be great.
Yes, there's gonna be rainbows and unicorns flying around in the sky, and it's gonna be every day is gonna be great. All your problems are gonna disappear.
Well, as Lanky says, I know absolutely nothing about her, so she deserves a fair chance. And I agree. I mean, that's kind of the thing with this new vice president that we're gonna have is that we don't know anything, and also there's this misconception that like if you're this happens with Kathleen Kennedy of like, I'm tired of this B-roll footage of just movies. Let's get to like Mandalorian stuff or something.
Yeah.
But like, there's this misconception on Kathleen Kennedy where she basically wrote the sequel trilogy. She is the entire reason the sequel trilogy sucked. However, she had absolutely nothing to do with the Mandalorian. Like, not even relatively close. Was banned off the set of season 2 of the Mandalorian, apparently. Stupid stuff like that. So it's weird, the conflicting narratives on that. But this is the narrative I'm talking about, though, is that like these executive producers over there at Lucasfilm, these presidents, vice presidents now, are like writing the story. What they do is they normally approve of the story. And what this lady is doing, this new lady, Momita, Samgupta. I'm just going to call her Momita, or as I said, Mo. I actually like the name Mo better. The Vice President Mo, she is likely someone who's going to deal with getting cast members, getting directors, getting writers, getting the production set up, and doing this on a large scale like she did for Viacom and Netflix. And that's one of the reasons this doesn't surprise me, is because there's so many shows coming out in the future for Star Wars that they're trying to rival something like Netflix, this new streaming wars that we have. So it makes sense why Disney and Lucasfilm would want to hire someone who could do that for Star Wars. And I'm actually kind of happy that they're doing this specifically for Star Wars and not just something to do for Disney Plus, to deal with Marvel, to deal with Star Wars, Pixar, and all the other stuff that's going on. So, yeah.
I mean, I think we can see just from the past few years since Disney has acquired Star Wars, the most important thing is you need to have people working on Star Wars who actually care about Star Wars, who are actual fans of it themselves. That's where we're going to get the best results, I think. So I don't know anything about Gupta. So like everyone else in the comments is saying, I think I'm with you guys. I'm just gonna give her a chance. Like I think it's kind of like when you're president of the U.S., you get elected. People, no matter what you do, people, crap on you. And maybe that Kathleen Kennedy's getting a little bit of that, but
I'll go to the trustworthy Reddit
best.
of Star Wars leaks. I think they had a specific thing for it.
Oh my gosh, Star Wars Hour said, hey, at least she's the first Kennedy in a while not to be killed. That's messed up.
Hey, hurtful but truthful.
I mean, sad.
Yep. Let me go. I'm gonna share the Star Wars leaks thing with you guys so we can go through what those beautiful guys say, because Reddit is the best. We all know that. So here we go. There we go.
Trust Reddit with my life. That's why all my money's on Jimmy.
Who?
It's the Wall Street bets.
Oh yeah.
All my money's on Jimmy because I trust Reddit with my life.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, by the way.
They're just saying what we already said. I didn't see this in the article, but I like this. Disney Insider. Okay, aside from Kathleen Kennedy, Sengupta might have the most influential job at the studio because she'll be the one managing the resources each production gets, and by default, the quality. And that's kind of what I was saying a minute ago, is that like her main job is going to be getting everything together. Like before her hiring, that stuff probably fell on the hands of Kathleen Kennedy. But now that there's so many shows going on, do you really want Kathleen Kennedy being in charge of all the scripts, all the producers, the directors, the writers, and just in general, like getting all this stuff together? Because that's normally what an executive producer does. Executive producer is normally the person who deals with the big finances of a major motion picture or television. An actual producer, a producer who's on set and everything, deals with giving the director everything they could possibly want in a timely fashion.
Like the right-hand man, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hands and feet.
If you look at someone like Rick McCallum from the prequel trilogy, he was a big yes man to George Lucas, and if George was like, I need this, he would run across freaking nation to get it. I like this comment. I have no idea what the implications of this are, so I'll just say congratulations. This comment probably summarizes it best. Essentially, it is going to amount to efficiency of production, how fast crew can get on site at physical locations, how are they fed, electrical needs met, how do set builders have the tools, or do the set builders have the tools they need, all that stuff. This is something Netflix has on lockdown. It ultimately means that Disney is looking to expand its productions even further. We're talking about building an animation presence in the industry, building a repertoire in various films communities beyond their current scope for more productions and more places. It is very good.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, but I like how it mentioned Netflix has this down to a science, because that's how Netflix is able to come out with multiple productions at the same time, movies, TV shows, like multiple seasons of these TV shows. They can come out with them so fast because they have a good crew that can just put this all together. With Disney Plus, and a very ambitious list of new productions that are slated to come out. And I mean, hopefully in the recent future, they're probably going to need to get this down too.
Yeah. She's a LinkedIn that I can't apparently spell. Corporate communications.
You are really digging into this.
I gotta sign up. God. Oh, come on. Let me out of it. All right, it's not letting me out.
You are stalking this lady hard.
Well, I'm not. I'm doing what they call journalistic integrity. I'm actually doing investigative journalism here. I've actually done that. What was it? I did it one time when I think it was either Doomcock or a guy named Nerdrotic came out saying that basically the reason Lucasfilm doesn't use any any content from the original trilogy is because they would still have to pay George Lucas royalties on that. And yeah,
that doesn't sound right.
It's not only not how it works. I actually hired a intellectual property lawyer to ask him about this.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because you know they have an hourly rate and everything. So for a video, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, like, is there any truth to this and how would this work? And he was like, no, he's like, there may be something from the Writers Guild where, because they're still using characters with that George Lucas created, the likeness of it, then possibly they give them certain royalties from Star Wars, but there's no reason that Disney cannot use certain things. And he's like, there's plenty of evidence to even show that, you know, they give him writer's credit and everything. I'd have to go back to the video to remember exactly what he said.
You hired a property. You're joking.
I shit you not. I hired a property lawyer for an hour of his time just to get the actual like meat of this.
So, how much did that run you? Can I ask?
No, you cannot.
Okay. I really want to know like what the hour, because I've never had to hire a lawyer for anything.
Well, this was more like this wasn't like a lawyer coming to me for like, we have a case we got to work up. That would probably cost me hundreds of dollars. This did not cost me that much. I mean, it was okay. It was reasonable for a lawyer to kind of. I'm not drawing you out number signs, all right?
I'm like, hey, just try it on the table.
Yeah, no. Yeah, does George Lucas get royalties from the OT themed stuff? Doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it really doesn't. So it's not truly accurate.
Here, scroll down. Look.
And Harrison says, hi from the UK, Star Wars Only. Finally had time to watch all the Star Wars films last year due to COVID. Interesting. No regrets at all. It's become a really fun part of my life. Perfect time to be a fan with all the content coming. Yeah, hey, first of all, I'm glad you're a Star Wars fan. Like, it's always nice to have new people in the Star Wars fandom. I feel like it's really growing. Since it's your first year, I actually would be really interested if you want to comment in the live stream, like which one was your favorite and which trilogy do you like more? Because you're someone who came in it with, you know, a different perspective than a lot of us, but also, whatchamacallit, you do have a lot of content to look forward to because, you know, we have 10 plus shows in development. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can check out.
All right. Did you like the prequel trilogy or are you wrong?
Oh, wow. Oh, man. And do you like the prequel trilogy or are you not? Seth MacFarlane's interview with George Lucas was heartwarming. It was heartwarming, and it's also just kind of funny because George Lucas says he like TiVos all the Family Guy episodes, which makes me more connected to George Lucas than I thought because I was a big fan of Family Guy growing up. It sucks now, like the new shows or new episodes. But
I'm sorry, you got me on South Park, but Family Guy that's not going to be a thing for me. I'm never gonna watch that show and like it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, I know.
Antas says you hired an actual lawyer just for Star Wars. That's something only a hardcore fan would do. It's not even me being a fan. It was like I like genuinely do not believe what they were saying.
Yeah, but you went that hard for what?
To get the truth. Like the truth needs to prevail. Like
there's Google, right?
Yeah, there's Google, but like. Who has more authority in this conversation? The guys who are saying they have these leaks or inside sources about, you know, George Lucas getting property rights, or this YouTuber, me, who says they're wrong, or an intellectual property lawyer who actually specializes in this field.
Is there the contract? Is that available online? Is that public?
Hell no. Hell to the no.
It's not public?
No, not even.
A lot of contracts are.
No, that's something like, first of all, that contract is dense. Like that
I'm
thing,
sure it's pages and pages.
That
pages,
thing is, yeah. I mean, it took a long time just to get to the logistics of that.
The Bible.
The closest thing you'll ever get to is the actual confirmation, is the actual announcement that Lucasfilm and Disney had for the purchase. I'll see if I can.
Well, then there's really no way to know, right? The truth, right?
Yeah, well, that's another point that I think I made in the video where it was like, bro, do you realize how private. I was like, the only people who truly know about all that stuff would be George Lucas, his lawyers, Disney, and their lawyers. That not everyone's going to. There's no way anyone at Lucasfilm, not even probably Kathleen Kennedy, would have access to that. Oh, geez, there's a lot of article on this in the whatchamacallit, on the actual Disney Star Wars page. Let's go to that real quick.
I imagine that lawyer you hired was like, you know, they asked him like, what's like the most interesting thing you've been hired for? Well, some dumb YouTuber had me on his show.
Some dumbass named StarWarsOnly or something.
Star Trek only.
Yeah, Star Trek. So this is the official announcement. This came out in October 30th, 2012, back when they like bought Lucasfilm. And this is as much as you're ever going to get on the actual details on the deal between George Lucas and Disney. So let's start here. Under the deal, Disney will acquire ownership of Lucasfilm, a leader in entertainment, innovation, and technology, including a massively popular and evergreen Star Wars franchise and its operating business live-action film production. It's going to keep going on cutting-edge entertainment, ILM, Lucasfilm, LucasArts, Industrial Light and Magic, all that, Skywalker Sound. Here we go. Kathleen Kennedy, current co-chairman of Lucasfilm, will become president of Lucasfilm, reporting to Walt Disney Studios chairman Alan Horn. All right, I gotta highlight this real quick. You send this to every Fandom Menace person ever. Because there's this weird narrative that has been drawn, and I've been trying to not debunk it, but I've been making the point for a while now that she reports to one person. Like in this chain of command, it goes before Bob Chapek became CEO. It went Bob Iger, then Walt Disney Studios chairman Alan Horn, then it went Kathleen Kennedy because she's at Lucasfilm. So people like Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm president, people like Kevin Feige, the guy who's in charge of Marvel, they report directly to Alan Horn, the Walt Disney Studio chairman, because that's what they do. Oh, hello, Leia. Our puppy or our pug, Leia, came to say hi.
Yeah, she's making a lot of noise. I'm sorry.
Yes. So that basically means that when it comes to who approves of stuff first, it goes to Alan Horn, and then it would go to someone like Bob Iger. But this weird thing that it's like Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy taking over Star Wars and doing all this stuff. The fact that none of these people ever once mentioned Alan Horn truly means they're lying to you and have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Because we're like right here, it says, will become president, reporting to Walt Disney Studios chairman Alan Horn. That's the person she reports to. She does not report to Bob Iger. She does not report to Bob Chapek. She reports to Alan Horn. And I have a fun theory that when she leaves Lucasfilm, she's actually going to get promoted to Walt Disney Studio chairman, because the only reason Alan Horn is at Disney is because of Bob Iger. I feel like when Bob Iger leaves, Alan Horn will leave, and that studio chairman position will be open, and either Alan Bergman will take it, which I actually feel like is more likely than Alan Horn, or Kathleen Kennedy will get promoted and take over that spot. And then get this, the bitch of all that would be is that people would be like, oh, she got fired. No, she got promoted, because now whoever's Lucasfilm president reports directly to her if she is Walt Disney Studio chairman or chairwoman in that position. So yeah. Wait, would it be chairwoman? I don't think anyone would ever say that.
It's just chairman.
Yeah.
Really. It's
okay,
like,
yeah,
it's a title.
It's not mankind. It's humankind. It's not like
you don't say president.
Yeah. In President S. Yeah. Ms. Kennedy will serve as executive producer on all the new Star Wars feature films, with George Lucas serving as creative consultant. Oh, thank God for that. It's targeted release. Blah blah blah. I don't think there was much more about the deal. Boards of directors approved of it. It felt good in the regulations, and then about Lucasfilm. So yeah, that's as much as you'll get into the nitty gritty about the Star Wars contract with Lucasfilm. So
thank you, Isaac Fisher, for amen and a woman.
Amen and a woman.
Very on point.
So there you have it. There was that bit of an education of, like, first of all, Kathleen Kennedy reports directly to Alan Horn, and second of all, we don't really know much about we don't know much about the contract with Lucas and Disney. Kathleen Kennedy continues to ruin Star Wars.
It's shrouded in mystery.
Shrouded in mystery.
We can use context clues and a lawyer.
We can
to define the truth.
Yeah. Now, Star Wars Hour says, what's the difference between company president and CEO? What do you call it?
CEO is chief executive officer.
Chief executive officer.
They are usually kind of in charge of, like, it's more like a fiscal position, I think. So more focused on, like, earnings, brand image, all that stuff. CEO is in charge of everything, obviously.
Yeah, that's what Bob Iger did. But when it comes to president of stuff, like, it's kind of like chairman. Like, you have
like the leader,
specific roles. So, like, the way I'll use this example just because we all know it. Lucasfilm, when George Lucas owned it, let's just say hypothetically he's the CEO. He wasn't, because normally that means there's people who own multiple shares of the company. There was only one person who owned Lucasfilm, and that was George Lucas. So he was the sole proprietor, and that's why he was called a chairman. But for the sake of argument, he was a CEO. So he dealt with, basically, he's just in charge of everything. He's the big boss. He can do anything and everything he wants. And then there's the company president, who was a lady named Michelin Chow, and she dealt with the production side of things, the brand image in terms of, what we're putting out, and dealing with the logistics of stuff, the business side of things in terms of making contracts and all that. It's all very technical, and it does vary between company and company. And Lucasfilm was an independent company, so it's very different. So yeah. Elijah says, "Isn't Alan Horn retiring?" Like I said, he was retired, and then Bob Iger brought him back to be chairman of Disney Studios, and so that's why he stayed on. But I do think as time goes on, when Bob Iger leaves, because he's been trying to retire from Disney for some time now, after he leaves, Alan Horn will leave as well. Victor says, "Is the Book of Boba Fett going to be a limited series like Kenobi?" I don't know. I don't think they confirmed anything about that. I would imagine it would be a limited series similar to Kenobi. I don't imagine there being multiple seasons. I mean, I'm not gonna say how much you can do with Boba, but
I'm not really 100% certain what the meaning of limited series is. That's kind of
one season.
But you can make that whatever you want, though. Really.
Well, yeah, but Kenobi, they call it a mini series because it's only 6 episodes, so it's kind of it's really small.
I see, really limited. Okay, well, I imagine with the amount of shows that are coming out, they're going to have a couple of them be smaller. You can't have all of these go on forever. I don't see it working out. It's just the sheer amount of shows.
Yeah. Antas says, people talk about Kathleen Kennedy as if she murdered their entire family. They seriously need to relax. It's become more of a religion than anything of I hate this woman with my soul. And it's why? Have you ever met her personally? I feel like a lot of people, they use the Force is female thing, and that was a t-shirt that she wore that was given to her by Nike. And there was an interview done by Steel Wars or something like that. I don't really like him much, but he has media access because, he's, I don't know. No, we're not gonna talk about it, but he basically asked her what she, the whole thing about that. And she was I had no idea that was a big to do. Nike gave me that shirt. So people, this is why I get upset about the fake news and the misinformation that goes around where people are feeding into hate and anger against this woman, where it's hey, if you want to criticize her, yeah, you have every right to do that. We should criticize her. People criticize the DC executives for the stuff they did with Ray Fisher and everything. That's fair. But to act like she is responsible for everything and yet not responsible for the Mandalorian, they go crazy with it. Jason says, "Do you think Kathleen will step down or be let go?" They're not letting her go. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no way in hell. The PR disaster of that would be crazy.
I mean, when you look at it if you think of it from Disney's side of things, Kathleen Kennedy has done her job successfully in so many ways at this point since they've acquired Star Wars. I mean, business-wise, they have made so much money off of it. They wouldn't have any reason to let her go. They really wouldn't. Even if we don't like it. Everything that she's been attached to, it doesn't really come down to her, like you said.
Yeah.
The amount of people that are involved in the process of creating a story, it's not like she, went home, wrote the script, wrote it down, write every frame. It's all right, this is how I want to do it, guys. We're going to do it just like this, and you can't change anything. It's on me. No. Very likely she didn't have that much to do with the creative process. She that's not really her job.
Yeah, she was likely, and I'm not likely, she was there for a lot of it. I mean, she guided it. She sealed a lot of these stuff for it, saying oh, I want this to happen, I want that to happen. Here's what I kind of want the story to go in. But a lot of that, with episode 9, I think JJ had a lot more creative freedom than he did with episode 7. Episode 8, I mean, Rian Johnson said that he pretty much had all creative control.
Yeah, right. Because you hire someone to be in charge of the creative side of things so that you can do your job as president, which, I mean, she's got a not bigger fish to fry, but she has her own plate of responsibilities that have nothing to do with, let's talk about what we want Ray to do in this scene or no.
Yeah, people there's these weird videos where they're saying that Luke was brought back in The Mandalorian and it made Kathleen Kennedy mad, and it's why would she be mad about that? Wouldn't she didn't she know about that before it even happened? When they have come to her about it? Yeah. So, yeah. Dollar Film says, only what is your honest opinion on what will happen when obviously The Mandalorian and Ahsoka don't retcon the sequel trilogy? Do you think more people will call out Doomcock and co. or double down on their lies? Okay, so I think people like Doomcock and company will double down on the lies and say oh, my source said that, this was changed last minute or something like that, or there's this different cut of the show and alternate episodes, but Kathleen Kennedy stepped in and refused to let those air and changed it all the way. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are upset. That's going to be coming out from that part of the aisle. They're going to say stuff like that. The fans are probably going to be a little confused. They'll either believe it, but I think by that point, some people, it's going to be like the QAnon thing, where after so long, there's going to be so many people who are just like, I can't do it, man. Like, I just can't keep believe. You can't like that. That was my big question on the video I made the other day about debunking the sequel retcon rumors of like, when is this going to happen? And when it doesn't happen, are we ever going to open up and say we were wrong, we lied, or anything like that? And it may not ever happen with these guys. It may not. Time may go on, and people like. There's a video my friend Matt Jarbo sent me last night, and it was like the Star Trek guy. Him and a bunch of Star Trek people set up a 4chan thing where they basically put out fake Star Trek rumors that sounded kind of believable, but like you could, if you had brain cell, you could tell that they were fake. And Doomcock like reported on it and said he had a source who confirmed it and everything. So they kind of came out and exposed him and like set him up and showed that like he kind of just lies about stuff like that. So I think stuff like that may go on as time.
Well, you have to think people like Doomcock are a brand of YouTuber that is different than maybe what you do, for example.
Yeah.
And that's because think of it like Alex Jones, right? People don't really, well, I'm sure there's some people who watch people like Doomcock or Alex Jones who believe in everything they say and the wild, unfounded rumors that don't make any sense. But the vast majority of people, I would hope, are watching it more for the entertainment value and the, it's like a train wreck that you really can't look away from.
Yeah.
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 So I don't think that, I don't think when Doomcock is proven wrong that anything really happens to him, because we all knew the truth. And the small people who are that loyal to him don't care that he was wrong. They're going to keep watching. They're going to keep subbing. And
yeah, because it's at this point, it's just entertainment,
It's just
like
entertainment,
some of it's like it's kind of like, I really love the Robert Ebert quote about Fandom. I'll read part of it real quick because I have it. I'm actually going to make a video on it this week because I think it really sums up a lot of the, not fandom menace, but people who believe a lot of this stuff. Robert says, anyone who would camp out in a tent on the sidewalk for weeks in order to be the first in line for a movie is more into camping on the sidewalk than movies. Extreme fandom may serve as a security blanket for the socially inept who uses the extreme structure of as a substitute for social skills. If you are Luke Skywalker and she's Princess Leia, you already know what to say to each other, which is much safer than having to ad-lib it. Your fanish obsession is your beard. If you know absolutely all the trivia about your cubbyhole of pop culture, it saves you from having to know anything about anything else. And that's why it's excruciatingly boring to talk to such people. They're always asking questions they know the answer to. And that's one of the reasons I kind of get annoyed with a lot of Star Wars fans who only focus on Star Wars and they only talk, because like he's saying, it's if you only know about Star Wars and you don't have to know about anything else, it's kind of hard to see outside of that hole. It's like I forget the metaphor where it came from, but they were saying like, imagine there's a projector and the projector is life, and then you have a curtain in front of you with certain holes in it. And that's how we look at life. Like we see it through different holes because we're different people and everything. But the curtain is blocking most of what you're actually going to see. And that's how a lot of these people are, where it's like they only know about this cubbyhole of pop culture, and therefore they're consumed by it. And they're normally not very interesting people. And I'm not trying to say that to, coat my own ego or anything, but that is kind of what I've seen a lot. So yeah, it's a very weird thing of like culture being at a different place modern day, and also the fandom kind of becoming part of the culture in that sense. I see some people are asking about Indy 4 or Indiana Jones, like if Kathleen Kennedy was involved with that. And yeah, Kathleen Kennedy was there from Indiana Jones from the start to the end. Like she was there for every single Indiana Jones film. So it's weird that like a lot of people will say like, oh, she worked on Indiana Jones, but all she did was give him coffee and whatnot. It's
I'm really nervous about Indiana Jones.
I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen any of the new ones.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, I know.
The first three. I mean, because I basically go on life pretending that the fourth one doesn't exist because I have to do that to cope. But the first three, I mean, fantastic films. Really are. I have no problem with them whatsoever. Yeah. And they came out with that weird thing with Shia LaBeouf, and then here we are. And they're like, yeah, let's do that again. Let's come out with a fifth one.
No.
Yeah.
Jason says, Star Wars Only, do you think there will be many mentions and unanswered things solved in the Bad Batch, or do you think they will try to do their own thing and go away from the Clone Wars? I feel like the Bad Batch is going to answer some questions on like shows that we don't expect. Like Bo-Katan is definitely going to show up in the Bad Batch. Cody is going to show up there. I think it will deal with the Clone Wars more than anything. I don't think it's going to deal with too much of the future Star Wars shows, but I think it's going to deal a lot with the Clone Wars and a little bit of the future stuff, just to kind of set up stuff so we can expect it. Chuck says, I respect you a lot, Star Wars only, because you don't like the prequel trilogy or sequel trilogy, yet you don't shit all over them or act like people involved should be killed. I appreciate that, because it sounds like you just said I'm a rational person. I can not like something and not dislike the people who made it. Like that's something that I feel like is lost today, where it's like I'm trying to think of like a director who I really enjoy. Like I'll even use like Rian Johnson as example. I'm always 50-50 with Rian Johnson. I either love what he did or I absolutely hate it. So my best examples are 4, which are 2 movies and then a show. The 2 movies are something like Looper, which I grew up with and I loved it. I thought that was a great movie. It features Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. Great movie. Absolutely loved it. I think it was written by him too, so he did a great job with that. I hate The Last Jedi. I hated it the minute I saw it. I hated it before the movie came out, which makes it sound like I'm biased, but I did give it a chance when I saw it. And then when it comes to the show, he directed my least favorite episode of Breaking Bad, which it's not awful. It's just kind of boring, and you can skip it and not really miss anything. And it's an episode called The Fly, and then he directed what's argued as the best hour in television history of Breaking Bad. You remember the name of it? It starts with like Ozma something or whatever.
No, I don't remember.
It's
it
the one where like everything.
I know the episode.
Yeah, everything comes to fruition. Like the whole world comes down. It's a perfect storm. So Rian Johnson has directed my favorite episode of Breaking Bad and my least favorite. My least favorite Star Wars movie in terms of like how I look at Star Wars and not enjoying the story decisions. Yet he also directed one of my favorite movies when I was in middle school. So like someone like him, I'm very 50-50 on, where it's like, I don't like a lot of the stuff he did with Star Wars. I don't like the way he does some of the stuff with his directing and his writing, but I also like him as a person. He's very interesting to listen to on his thought process on why he's making it the way he is and what's going through his mind. He's a guy I would love to sit down with at a bar and have a drink or have a smoke and be like, hey, what did you think about this? Why did you make this decision? So it's just being a normal person. I don't know why we got to make it like Kathleen Kennedy personally hit my heart or something.
Hate the sin, love the sinner, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Voke says, when you rewatch the original trilogy movies, do you see some characters and the story differently because of the sequel trilogy? Personally, no. Personally, no. I don't, because I can separate the two. Because for me, doing that, if we're going by me not listening to the sequel trilogy and what they did with the story, I can do the same thing with the prequels. I really don't like what the prequels did to the original trilogy, but I kind of look at them separately, you know? Like I see how the stories connect, but I don't really make the connection when I'm watching them. They always, we always know what's happening.
I like this one because I watched some interviews with Mark Hamill, and he was talking about in interviews whenever the sequel trilogy came out, he was talking about how in the first episode 7, he was like, yeah, I play such an important role, like as a joke, because he only has like one line or no lines, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in episode 8, he discussed just that he read the script and said, this isn't Luke. And so he said that to play Luke in the sequel trilogy, had to think of Luke as a different character. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, I don't see, when I see Mark Hamill and like this old hermit guy, I kind of do see it his way, where that doesn't really feel like the same Luke that I saw in the original trilogy. There's so many differences. He said, Luke is optimistic. He sees the good in everyone. He would never abandon his friends. And in this, new trilogy, it seemed like he was in an interview, so he couldn't trash the movies. Obviously, he's there to promote it, but he seemed not too thrilled. This is probably things y'all already know, but I don't see the original characters differently because of the new ones, just because they are so vastly different. So it's hard for me to like put them together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy feel very similar in story and like the way they were told.
Right.
Linky says, "I really just want to know what George thinks." I'm in the same boat. I would love just to hear George Lucas's unfiltered thoughts on a lot of this stuff. Hopefully, there's certain people I could talk to who know George Lucas, like what's his name, J.W. Rensler probably would know a lot about that. Another guy that I'm trying to interview. We actually said he said he would be up for an interview, but we never set up a date, so I need to reach out to him again. It's a guy named oh god freak, what's his name, the guy who wrote Life and Films. It's called Skywalking, the Life and Films of George Lucas. Oh bro, I gotta Google it, I'm sorry. Life, because I know him in films of George Lucas.
Garrosh.
Nice.
Who needs George when you have Garrosh?
Dale Pollock, that's his name. Why did I forget that? Dale Pollock. I said I was going to interview him, and I'm still planning on doing that. He would know what George's true thoughts on stuff were. So he may not say that on air, but if I could hear it behind the scenes, I probably can't tell you guys because it'd be off the record. But I'll tell Miss Only. At least she would know. She'll know George Lucas's unfiltered thoughts, and someone I would too. Elijah says, this is a good question. If you had to sit down right now and either watch the prequels or the sequels, what would you watch?
Do I get to answer this one?
We'll both answer, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know what I'm going to say.
You're going to say the prequels?
Absolutely. I'll pay money. I would go see those in theaters right now. I love those movies. You couldn't pay me to watch the sequels.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
You could pay me to watch the sequels. I'll do almost anything for money.
I'm kidding. I don't hate them that much.
Yeah,
they're just different.
Yeah, I think I would. I feel like because I've seen the sequels not as many times, but they also don't interest me as much. I'd have to pick the prequels just because I can just sit down and get drunk or something and just chill watching.
Some way to get through it.
Probably fall asleep about halfway through the Phantom Menace. Gabe BB says, hey there, just joined the stream. So Lucasfilm is getting a second in command. Yes, the second in command is a new lady named, what was her name again? Momita Saputa.
Hey, stop it.
What?
Say it right.
Did I say it wrong?
You did. You butchered it.
Okay, well, she is the executive vice president of physical development. So basically she's in charge of like all the future shows coming out and movies too. Not in charge, but like she is second in command to Kathleen Kennedy. So we're going to have to deal with someone else dealing with a lot of the producing side of Star Wars. It's not that big of a deal, but it's an interesting topic. Sapodi says, how do you think Star Wars will look in 15 to 30 years from now? Oh boy,
I don't have the brain power to think. Yeah,
I
don't even know what tomorrow is going to look like for me, man.
Yeah, man, it's going to be so different. There's going to be like maybe 5 to 10 more films that have come. 10's a lot. 10's stretching. There's going to be like maybe 5 to 10 more films that have come out in 15 years. Maybe like definitely 10 films by 30 years from now, I would imagine. I don't know. That kind of scares me because that means like 30 years from now, I will be 51 years old.
Dude.
And if this channel is still operating by then, I mean, cool, because I love doing this, but I mean, good God, do YouTubers retire? Like, do we ever just stop uploading?
We're like, all right, guys, it's time.
Yeah. Like,
YouTube actually sent me a cease and desist.
Yeah,
they're like worried about me.
They're like, hey, we appreciate the effort, but
Stop.
it's enough.
It's
like,
time to give up.
Go live your life, retire. So yeah. Oh God, imagine then, because I'll be 50. I'll be in Lunga's position, and like there'll be like younger kids like in their 20s and teens talking to me about Star Wars and like, the sequel trilogy, man, they don't make them like they used to, don't they? And I'm like, oh shit, oh boy.
I remember when those came out in theaters.
Yeah, no, I'll be the old fucker who is like the last person like, oh, they don't do it like the original trilogy anymore, and they're gonna be like, bro, that was like damn near 100 years ago. Like,
oh, wow.
Bro, oh my God, could you imagine that?
Nauseous.
Yeah, because that in 50 years it'll be wait, not 50. Yeah, 50 years it'll be 100.
I expect all of you to be here 30 years from now. Every single one of you.
Every 97 something odd.
We ride the ship to the moon.
Yes,
we go down together.
Captain goes down with the ship. We are ride or dying this bitch. And I swear to God, we're gonna round down just for the sake of simplicity. When 2050 comes, we're gonna do a 50-year. We're gonna do remember that stream 30 years later, and we're all gonna reunite and see what
we're gonna talk about what Star Wars looks like 30 years from then.
Could you imagine if they just canceled Star Wars by then?
Like no more of this.
Yeah, like literally Lucasfilm comes out and they're like, that's it, we're done. I'm like, with what? They're
We've exhausted all of the
we have no idea what to do anymore with Star Wars, and
buy our glow sticks.
Yeah. We've had a great time, and
thanks for coming.
Yeah,
bye.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. You have so much content.
That was all the Star Wars we had.
Yeah,
we're out.
Gamerman says, when I visited Doomcock's live stream, someone brought up a Dave Filoni interview, and Doomcock said he would look into to see if he missed anything, aka he made a story up.
He made up his own story.
Made up his own story,
yeah.
You're not wrong. Dave Filoni, there's an article someone sent me, or put in the comment section recently, about the time travel stuff on Star Wars Rebels, the World Between Worlds. And Dave Filoni says, I don't really think of it as time travel. It's not really a thing where you would go through one door and come out into a different one. The World Between Worlds is really about knowledge and gaining knowledge. As the Doom Wolf says, what's in there is knowledge and destruction. You can gain knowledge of the future, of futures that may happen, and you can see things that happened in the past. But he's basically saying that there's no alternate timelines. There's no different, I'm thinking of alternate universe at this point, but yeah, timelines in general. So yeah, Dave Filoni also debunked the whole, we're going to retcon the Star Wars sequels with freaking Ahsoka Tano or something like that. In 15 years, your Star Wars after Kathleen Kennedy documentary will come out.
Can't wait.
That first of all, that documentary probably is definitely going to happen. Just because I like making those kind of stories.
Do I get to write that one too?
You get to co-write it and never get the credit.
Wow, thank you.
What we call it?
Favorite part.
Big part. I kind of this may be a hot one, and this may get me into some trouble with Lucasfilm. I really want to make a documentary called "The People versus Kathleen Kennedy." It's going to be very similar to what they did with George Lucas, but I would actually sit down.
It is. There's so much you can unpack there.
Yeah, because I would want to sit down with people who genuinely don't like Kathleen Kennedy, and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I would interview him because he's a vocal critic of the Star Wars from Disney, and then I would interview people who are apologists, I guess, if you want to call them shills. But people,
Wow.
I would just interview people who like her, and then I would also interview people who are in the movie industry business, and hopefully even people at Lucasfilm, to actually see what they say, to be like, yeah, a lot of that stuff is BS. Like, she does this and that. Really, I think it would do great on YouTube in general, because I try to do those for free for you guys. But also, I think it would really show a different side. And I think it honestly would be a little embarrassing, not on my part, but on the Star Wars fandom part, where I think we would look at the documentary and people would say, wow, they demonized this lady who is actually just kind of like an older mom who is kind of corny, like the mom you see at a barbecue who's like, oh, I'm real hip with the kids these days,
the Force is female.
Swagger, haha. And you're like, Swagger was in 2012, mom. That's how I look at Kathleen Kennedy. She's doing her job. Yeah, she's
living her best life.
She's 69 years old. Nice.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Whoa, she looks great for her age.
I thought she was. Sorry, I thought she was young 60s or.
No, I would have thought she was. 50s.
Really?
Maybe, or late 40s even. I would have believed that.
Kathleen
she looks fantastic. Let me see. She's 67. Look at her.
I was off by 2 years.
Oh my gosh, she looks fantastic. I'm not kidding. This is crazy. All right, I want to hit her up and be like, "Hi,
what do you use and how do I get it?
What fountain of youth have you tapped into?"
She's like one of those Hollywood people who uses the blood of dead babies to rub over her face.
If you haven't heard of that conspiracy, go look it up. It's an actual real thing.
67. Wow,
my grandmother is younger than her, but looks. About her. Seriously, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not simping for Kathleen Kennedy, but I will say she looks great for her age, which is kind of surprising.
Wow.
Because
I'm shocked.
Normally 60. I don't know. Yeah, she does look a lot younger. George Lucas looks good for his age too. What's he, 76 now?
Nah, I'm sorry, he don't. Oh well, okay, he's for 76,
all right,
maybe.
All right. The last time I saw George Lucas, I will admit he looked a little seasoned.
But look at Dave Filoni looks his age. 46? Dave Filoni and George Lucas look the same age.
Yeah.
And Dave Filoni is 46 years old.
Holy
George
shit.
Lucas is literally 30 years older than him, and they look like they could be the same age.
Bro, you know who looks great for their age? J.J. Abrams and Jon Favreau.
Holy moly. This is a whole.
This
All
is
right.
whole nother.
We gotta make a video on this.
Like
How do they stay young?
What are they feeding Star Wars?
What's in the water?
Yeah, what's in the water over there at Lucasfilm? Hang on, I'll share this screen with you guys so we can look at the freaking age gap and stuff.
Robert Porter said KK is a robot preserved by feminism.
Oh my god,
that's what does it.
That's the cure.
It's being unproblematic.
So Ryan Johnson's 47, which would not expect. JJ 54, John
54.
Favreau 54.
They're the same age.
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't know that. John doesn't entirely look his age. He looks like he could. He looks like he could be in his 40s. JJ homeboy looks like 39.
Yeah, he looks in his prime.
Yeah, he is
54.
God, man, that
good looking dude.
Wow. JJ lived through the fucking 80s.
Wow.
He was there.
Grew up in the 80s.
Yeah, he was there day one for Star Wars.
Look at Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige,
sorry, dude.
Oh man.
He got left out.
I will admit Kevin Feige looks 47. He looks 40.
Man.
Robert Iger, 69. Nice.
Yeah, he looks all right.
Yeah,
He's almost 70. Good grief.
Him and Mark Hamill are the same age. That's surprising.
This is so neat.
Daisy Ridley and John
Boyega. There's my boy.
Oh, Pedro Pascal,
yes.
45.
He's my favorite. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah, aren't all you women? He's
wow.
I mean, honestly, if it came between him and Oscar Isaac, I feel like most people are going to pick Pedro.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Oscar has that like.
He's adorable.
He has like that hot guy vibe to him of like a scoundrel that he tries to go for in the sequel trilogy. But Pedro like just wears it, you know? He's just like
Pedro is.
Yeah, he just
is that.
He is himself.
Yeah,
you know?
Oscar Isaac for me is like a cute puppy. I'm like, oh, you're cute, but like I don't know, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
Yeah, so I don't know why we went into that rabbit hole, but sorry.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Lanky Giant says Star Wars only evolves into George Lucas. Okay, so
he's very close already.
Funny story about that. Me and my friend from Houston have a meme about that. We watched a show called Dark, which deals a lot with time travel. And there's the joke we made was that like I would like the age I am right now, I would go back in time to like the 50s and 70s or whatever when George Lucas was in his 20s. And I'm actually George Lucas, where like I would have to go back in time, and my curse would be I have to keep time going on the way it already is. And so as me, Star Wars only, I'd have to go back in time and then write the Star Wars trilogy and then do every single thing, including the prequels, do all of that stuff exactly how he did it, sell Star Wars and everything, do everything George Lucas did just to keep my future self, to keep being
Have your
born.
wife cheat on you with the architect.
Oh my God, don't even
go through it, man.
You're not cheat on me, Marsha. I don't fucking care. You're not even my actual wife. You know
no.
that? Take that, bitch. I got a miss only. So yeah, that's the joke. Is that like I go back in time and I become George Lucas by accident and
plot twist. I go back in time. I'm Marshall.
You're Marshall Lucas. Oh my God, that'd be some shit. Josh, the Star Wars only heard rumors on Twitter that you're Star Wars explained, but you're using a voice synthesizer to mask your voice. Can you squash this rumor? I'm assuming this isn't true.
Wait. That you're.
Remember that Alex guy?
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I got a lot of follows from that, and I got a lot of like, believe it or not, Star Wars Explained DM'd me after that. He actually had me blocked on Twitter because of me following Jeremy. And
how did you guys figure it out?
Yeah, shut up.
I'm kidding,
I'm definitely not Alex. He messaged me and was like, "What is the evidence here?" And there was no.
That would mean, well, he's married, is he not?
Yeah, he's married to a girl named Molly.
That would make me Molly. I can attest I am not Molly. So
no, you both look
sorry, guys.
Vastly different hair colors, different eyes in general. You don't fucking have me whipped like he is.
Oh, really?
I mean,
I don't.
Not to the point where
I better get back to work then.
No, not to the point where I'll get on my hands and knees in a slave Leia outfit and let you pull the chain.
Was that him?
Yeah.
Oh no. Not that. Oh
yeah.
no. I remember seeing that picture and being like, what would I have to do to get you to do this? And you were like, no.
No, I would never do it. And not in public either. Like,
we'll see.
That's like some, I don't kink shame.
Catch us at the next convention, guys. I think I can make it work.
Never gonna happen. Fofo says George Lucas has the most respectable gut and beard I've ever seen. Thank you very much for the super chat, Fofo. You're always appreciated here on the channel. And I agree in the beard. I don't agree on the gut. Well, I don't know. I've Thank God I've never seen George Lucas without a shirt, but I imagine it's not even a beer belly, bro. Well, that's just
He's just old. He's just older.
No, it's not that he's older, babe. He's had that like for years.
He used to be a little branch of a guy, though.
That is true. He still is pretty short. I mean, all things considered.
No, I didn't mean short. He used to be thin.
But yeah, okay. Yeah,
he used to be like lean. Like he
was never lean.
Like a guy who could like tuck his button-up shirt into his little like suspenders or belt or whatever. Yeah. And it didn't look like it fit right. You know what I mean? Like a paper bag.
He was just genuinely skinny. I mean,
yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, he was a diabetic too. That's why I'm kind of surprised he's bigger.
That's hard.
Yeah, and he I know he's made jokes in interviews where he's like, yeah, you know, I worked out every day, treadmill. Nothing happens.
Me too, George.
Like, holy shit.
Me too.
Could you imagine?
Could
you imagine if like George Lucas? I would not want him to do it at the age of 76, but like if I had met this man like in his like 50s and I got him to judo or something like that.
Stop.
God, or he's like into jujitsu. He could do jujitsu at 76 for sure.
All right, I'm gonna go into full guard on you.
Yeah. He's like, all right, come here, full guard, bitch. You want to do some randori? I'll fuck you up. Like he'd great at that. Not only that, a funny fact: Ahmed Best, the guy who plays Jar Jar Binks, is a black belt in jujitsu. And so,
well, he's a Sith, so.
Oh God, I'll kill you right. I'll kill you right now. But I think a fun video would be, and I mean, it'd have to be after like a face reveal or something like that. And if Ahmed Best ever would be down for it, I would love to do a roll with Ahmed Best for like a live stream or a charity event because he, like I said, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So as it stands right now, he would kick my ass. But I think it'd be hysterical if he did it. But talked like Jar Jar during the entire role.
Wow!
Like he gets me in what would be a bad position? Let's say he gets full mount on me or something like that, and he's like, "Oh, you something big doo doo this time."
And then you have to use your Star Wars only voice the whole time. You have to, the whole like bit like a news reporter. I don't know. Like you're like, welcome back, guys, to the.
You sound like Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's like making fun of himself. Like gets pissed off. He's like, "You're never drinking again," and then he pulls out a flask, drinks it, and then throws it out the window. Yeah. Oh man. Wow. Yeah. So Ahmed Best for Lucasfilm president. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
May the force be with you always.
No.
There you go.
Star Wars Nate says, can we talk about how John and Daisy are 28? I thought they were like 21, 22.
Same.
No, I don't think they are because we have to remember, we've kind of seen them grow through their 20s. I mean, you got to remember, they were casted back in 2014, 2013 for the Star Wars movie, Force Awakens. So, I mean, back then they were probably in their, I can't do math, 28. I mean, what were you, 2021? They're 28 now. Take away 8 years, so yeah, they're in their 20s, like 20, 22, 21 when they were hired. So yeah. Jason Quinlan says, Star Wars only. Do you think they would ever make a what if series for Star Wars like Marvel and make one for Jar Jar being a Sith?
Oh my gosh,
I think they could make a what if series.
I would watch it hands down. I mean, is there anyone who would not watch that? I don't care what you think about Jar Jar, about what. It's a what if series. That means that there's literally no consequences and we can do whatever we want. That's a series I would go crazy for. I'm so into that. I love the what if comic series for Marvel. I read a lot of those when I was younger. A little bit off of Star Wars, but I don't know if any of you have ever read the what if book for if Iron Man was actually Iron Woman. So it was like Tony Stark was just same person, same personality, same, egotistical billionaire, philanthropist, all that. But she's just a woman. And Civil War never happens because she marries Captain America. So I don't know. I always loved that one. And I was like, wow.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Ulu says, do you still remember the fantastic ending you came up with that you would write for the saga as George Lucas? If I'm remembering correctly, because I probably have said a few of them, but one that I said is that like the ending to my Star Wars saga would be like there's this big explosion, like I'm talking it eliminates the I don't know who builds it, but someone builds like a galaxy destroying, universe destroying weapon because they're nihilists. They're like, you know what? I'm tired of the Sith and Jedi. We're just gonna end it all, and so they blow up the entire universe in the galaxy that Star Wars is held in, and there's like two things that survived. There's these two guys on an alien spaceship. Well, I say alien just because it's Star Wars, but they're on a spaceship and they're just weird looking guys, alien species, like normal Star Wars characters. Let's say one's a Gungan just for poetic sake, and the other one's a
Poetry.
yeah, and the other one's a Twi'lek or something like that. And they're like, oh my god, the universe is destroyed, and like they're like the comedic relief of the film. And they go, wait, someone else lived. It's a ship. Oh my god! And they look at the ship and they're like, there's a life form detected. It's a guy named George Lucas. They're like, where's this ship going? Looks like this planet called Earth or something like that. And that would be the ending to my saga of like George Lucas the entire time lived throughout Star Wars and just watched it, documented it, and then put it out here.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to say no.
You don't think that's better than what I came up with yesterday?
It's a no for me.
It's all right.
It's a no for me.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All right. Well,
I think some plot holes and problems with that one.
Plot holes? There's no plot hole there.
Is George Lucas? How does he dress in this world?
Right-handed God, the same thing. The same thing.
And everything is all Star Warsy and like normal, except like there's droids and other people around him like working on the ship that are all dressed like normal Star Wars. And then you just have him in like a plaid button-up.
Yeah. Good old George Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right, guys. I think this is a good time to wrap up the stream. I know there's a lot of you in the chat and in the live stream, but I wanted to do an hour, and then me and Miss Only are gonna have a nice and good dinner. So thank you all for joining. This was a great live stream. I'm gonna bring back Miss Only in about 2 weeks when we do the Valentine's Day special.
Yeah, I have to go back into the hole.
Yeah, I gotta put her in the well, and then it puts the lotion on its face, or it gets its skin, or it gets the hose again.
That's not. Please don't even bring that up.
Okay.
Please don't even bring that up.
So yeah, Miss Only's going back in the well for 2 weeks. We'll bring her back for the Star Wars Valentine's Day special, and we'll do something unique for that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
for that. We're not gonna say.
I'm not gonna tell you exactly what we're doing. It's gonna be cute. It's
a
couple stuff, but like it's not gonna just be B-roll like this. We're gonna do something unique for that stream. So if you guys want to wait to see Miss Only again, make sure you tune in on February 13th, I think. Is that the day before?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday night. For Thanksgiving. Oh,
no.
Is that how we're treating Valentine's Day? We're just gonna eat like fat pigs?
Yeah. Well, might as well. But yeah, you don't want to miss that one. I'm really, really excited about it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. All right. So thank you all for joining. We'll see you back here for the Valentine's one in 2 weeks. Maybe I'll do another stream before then and bring some guests on. But until then, I will see you all next time. May the force be with you always.